What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode.
GM friends, what's up, Web3 doers? Welcome to Web3 Academy. It is the weekly roll-up. I am Jay Hamilton coming at you from Toronto this week. And as always, I am joined by my buddy, my fellow co-host. What's up, Kai?
What's up? Anyone else a little weirded out that he said GM just once? Usually it's GM, GM.
I was playing around with it today. Actually, I was playing
around
with it last night before I went to bed. Saying
just
GM to myself.
We got a good show today. I'm excited to be here. Roll-ups are fun. You know, they're just a lot of fun.
They really are, and there's no shortage of news. So what do we got today? We've got some stuff on regulation coming out of the US. We're going to dive into this 69-page legislation bill that is going through, and you don't need to read that 69-page. We're going to tell you all about it. We're going to talk about some, I wouldn't say necessarily FUD, but some security and safety issues happening, and making sure you guys are informed about those and staying safe out there. We're going to talk about NFT innovation and utility. There's always so much happening in NFT space. We're going to talk about the ones and twos, what's going on in layer ones and twos. We're going to talk about Web3 jobs. We're going to talk about community and what's coming up over the next month. Some pretty exciting conferences and events coming up, which I will be at some of them. So hope to see some of you there. And we're going to wrap up with some fun stuff and our DAO of the month.
Ooh, baby.
But before we start, Kai, what are you grateful for today?
Ooh, my gratitude today goes to the team at Web3 Academy. We've got a team that's doing a lot of content, a lot of work. Jeremy, Raul, thank you both. Raul in particular is new, young guy, and just out there grinding. And he said he was going to get us a bunch more followers on Twitter. And we've gotten like almost 100 in a week. So I don't know what he's doing, but whatever it is, he's doing it right. So very grateful for them. If you guys want to help Raul out, because Raul's a stud and we like Raul, and if I want you guys to help Raul, and so what I ask is go to our Twitter right now and follow it. It's Web3 Academy with an underscore at the end. The link will probably be in the show notes, I hope. But go follow Twitter. Let's help Raul. He wants to get above 500 followers and on the road to 1,000. So help him out and give us a follow on Twitter. And actually, we just launched on Instagram too. So we got some content going there. So if you're on Instagram, follow us there. It's the same thing, Web3 Academy _. What are you grateful for, Jay?
Love it. Shout out Raul. I'm grateful for Discord. And I might not say this very often because Discord's a lot. And I'm sure everybody out there, all of us doers listening to this, might disagree to be grateful for Discord. But I think if you're grateful for something, change your perspective. And I'm grateful for Discord because it is allowing us to build online communities, and community is so important because it gives you a place to go to collaborate with like-minded people and ask dumb questions. I really appreciate the Discord communities I'm in. Web3 Academy, shout out to all of our members, Jump, the 333 Cub, Zen Academy, Now DAO, all these Discords, really, really proof Moonbirds, really great places where I actually feel comfortable asking any question. And that is something that is really powerful in human development and growth. And, we all need to be able to, it's okay to ask any question. All questions are good questions. So yeah, thank you, Discord, for helping us build online communities.
Bullish digital communities.
Bullish weekly roll up.
Bullish Thursdays. Isn't that what we said the Discord yesterday?
That's what we said. Bullish Thursdays.
Nothing is
all
bullish
right.
in these markets right now, but let's talk.
let's be optimistic as always. What's the Web3 word of the week, Kai?
Word of the week is regulation. We've been waiting for
Mm.
this. We've been waiting. We've been saying that regulation's coming. We've been saying that regulation will be good for the industry. And now we have a huge bill that's come out. And I mean, it's not live yet, and I'm sure it will change and all that, but it's a pretty decent framework and covers like almost everything in the space, from DAOs to stable coins to securities, taxes, all that kind of stuff. So it's big, and we'll see where it goes, but I think it's good.
I think it's good too. I think we all need it. And let's jump right into it. So what's happening with the regulation, Kai? What came out this week?
Before we get in the news, remember we're supposed to do this. Before we get into the show, friends, we need your help. What we need is for you, if you are watching this on, I don't know, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or maybe it's YouTube, we need you to subscribe, and we need you to like, we need you to share. And more importantly, if you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we need you to review. If you like us, give us a 5-star. If you hate us, I mean, give us a 1-star. I prefer you didn't do that. But like, maybe we suck. And you know what? Radical candor is a thing that we practice, and tell us if we're no good. But please just give us some reviews, and subscribe, because it helps get us up on the algorithms and get our content in front of more people. And right now that is our goal. So help us do that, please. And thank you. We love you. Let's talk regulation. Scroll down, Jay. So as I said, this bill covers lots of different things. Some of the highlights, I guess, if you want to keep scrolling down, we'll just sort of look at what we have here. Is Jake Travinsky, who I've talked about before, is like one of the leading, I guess, lawyers in this space. But basically he sort of broke down some of the just summaries and things that he's seeing in here. I guess this is bipartisan, which means like both sides, I don't know, the left and right, whatever, like they agree, they both sign this. They want to move forward with this. But of course, as I said, it will take a lot of like, they're going to probably edit a lot of things and have to review a lot of different things. But basically some of the things that came across is like, one, stable coins need to be 100% backed, which I mean, I'm not against after what's happened with Terra Luna. I think that's completely fine. So that was really good. Scroll down. What else do we have? I think one of the biggest things actually is understanding securities of these tokens. So right now there's this big kind of fight or debate between like, where does this jurisdiction lie for tokens? Is it with the SEC, or is it with the was it the CFTC, I believe?
Commodities
futures. Yeah. And they are very crypto friendly, the CFTC, the SEC, not so much. But this bill is basically going to put not most, but a bulk of the tokens, especially the bigger ones, as a commodity, which would put them under the jurisdiction of the CFTC, which is very, very important. There is some weird sort of like wording in here on proof of stake. And if you're giving interest or dividends, they call it, to holders, it might be a security. That's going to have to probably get reworked or changed. So we'll see how that goes. But that was one of the like negatives of this bill. I guess one thing to note, Senator Loomis is the one that did this. She's kind of a Bitcoin maxi, but not really. But that's just kind of what I've been told and have heard. So like some of the people that put this bill together are like big on the Bitcoin side of things, and are less, I think, knowledgeable on just like what's happening in Web3 with these smart contract platforms. So the wording and stuff, I think, needs to be improved a little bit, but overall, pretty good. What else? Is there anything else interesting in here? If you want to continue down, let's see what the other summaries is. Oh, that's kind of it.
That's it.
Okay, let's go to the Milk Road one. He had a couple other thoughts as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, there will be no taxes on crypto transactions under $200. Cool. Weird. I don't know why. Like 200. Where does that come from? Why do they do that?
I mean, it's a big deal if we start using crypto to buy regular things on a day-to-day, right? Like it would be ridiculous if I bought Bitcoin and then went into Starbucks and bought my Starbucks with Bitcoin, and then I had to pay tax on the transaction of using that Bitcoin. That would be insane. So
yeah. but $200 is a weird number. But anyway, that's one of the things. One of the good things about this bill is that it basically proposes that we get full control of our digital assets, so we can self-custody assets. You saw in Europe, they were looking to pass bills where that's not allowed, which is insane. Like you're not allowed to have ownership of things. Like, why would you? That's an insane bill. So this bill like reserves our rights, which I think is really big. They also said, most cryptos are viewed as commodities, so that's really cool. There's some stuff on mining taxes and kind of just some clarity there, stablecoin stuff. The other interesting take here was there was actually a lot of talk on DAOs, and there was a lot of, I think, misinterpreted takes on Twitter about this. Everyone was saying on Twitter that DAOs need to become a registered organization, not an LLC, but something different.
Yeah,
that wasn't it. This bill basically just says like they have the ability to, and then there's benefits if you do this. So it's an option. It's not every DAO has to do this. So if you read it in detail, you kind of understand that. But I saw a lot of people tweeting that, oh my God, DAOs are screwed. They have to all be a corporation. They do not.
Right.
So yeah, they covered kind of everything here, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to take probably years for this to actually go through, if it ever does. But it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's the key here. Is it's a step in the right direction. No regulation is going to be perfect, but it feels optimistic and positive generally for us, for the Web3 crypto community. And I think the other big thing is, regulation is necessary for mass adoption. Regulation is necessary for more people and more businesses to get into this space. It's difficult to operate and build in a space that is not regulated. Now there's a balance to how much regulation, right? And as you mentioned, Europe saying that you can't self-custody your assets would definitely be over-regulation. But yeah, I think positive step, right direction, definitely the take there.
Let me tell you why we need regulation in this industry. People kind of forget what's actually going on under the hood of this industry. Right now, there's no regulation, and anyone can just build whatever they want. And right now, what's happening, especially during the bull run, is you have like 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are building these protocols or these games or these whatever we're using here in Web3. And we're piling millions, if not billions of dollars into these.
Billions.
And it's like, it's literally all in like one wallet from some 19-year-old kid from wherever in the world. And like, if he wants to, he can just easily rug it, and they often do. Or it's also, remember, some 19-year-old kid that built this protocol that did not get it audited. And all of a sudden there's millions or billions of dollars in it, and someone can just easily hack it, which happens a lot as well. So it's like, look, we need it open and whatever so that we have some innovation, but this space is insane. And the fact that people just dump all their money into like the most stupidest tokens and the most stupidest protocols and things, it's just, we need something. We got to help these people, because it's insane when you really think about what's going on in this space. So regulation equals good.
I like it. All right. Next up, PayPal has announced that they are supporting transfer of crypto between PayPal and external wallets. So PayPal had already previously announced that they were allowing their users to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they're now going to allow the transfer of that to external wallets, which is really a big announcement for PayPal users to be able to now enter Web3 more and onboard and ramp up to Web3.
Right. And self-custody. Now, they also announced in the same time that they, in the next few months, they said they'll be launching new crypto features, new products as well in the coming months. So I'm wondering Robinhood just did this, right? They opened up, I think it was last year or earlier this year, where they opened up withdrawals, right? To self-custody wallets. And then they launched just a few weeks ago, they announced that they're launching a self-custodial wallet. Right. I kind of think PayPal does the same thing. As I've said multiple times lately, like, this is the hottest space, the hottest product right now. And there's no way PayPal doesn't launch a self-custody wallet. There's just no way.
For sure. The one thing that's so confusing to me about this is, why is it always Bitcoin and Litecoin? Where are the stable coins? Shouldn't this be stable coins? Like if we're using PayPal, I want to be using stable coins, not.
I think it's because of they don't have any regulations, so they're not sure which
Right.
stable coins they're allowed to use. Like imagine they had UST. There's no way
Right.
PayPal could ever do that, right? So they don't know, like they can't use USDT because they don't really know what's in it. There's like USDC, but what if that you know, I don't know, the government or something tries to shut them down or like blocks their banks. Like there's just a lot of risk in stable coins. Other than maybe like DAI is the best one, but they're not going to do that yet. I think that's too, whereas they know like Bitcoin and Ethereum have already been considered commodities. So I think it's just, it makes sense. There's just a little bit more ruling and stuff. So that's my assumption. But then what's the other ones? They have like Litecoin and something else. Like,
like Litecoin, like what?
I don't get it. There's been a long.
Is that just I think it's just a branding thing, right? Like,
maybe.
You know, Litecoin, one of the OG coins, very well known. Right. You know, you just pick up the ones that are going to get you the most attention, and also probably there are a lot of users on Litecoin. Not me, but
debatable. This was interesting. So DEXs surpassed decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, surpassed centralized exchanges like Coinbase in on-chain transaction volume from April 2021 to April 2022 by $49 billion. So that's pretty insane just to show. I mean, so basically decentralized exchange is people using like Web3, right? This is people using DeFi, Web3, like actually self-custodying and exchanging that way. Whereas centralized exchanges is, you know, where you don't need a wallet, you just use your account. And I mean, before this past year, like obviously centralized exchanges just dominated this industry. DEXs were launched in like 2020, I think, maybe it was early 2019 when Uniswap first launched. So like for it already to be surpassing is pretty insane, but super cool. I mean, I think part of it is like decentralized exchanges, you can literally exchange any token. They're just all available. Whereas centralized exchanges, you don't get all of them. They have to like accept them and approve them and get them on there. So like there's more options in a decentralized exchange. But I just mean that like the user experience in a centralized exchange versus a DEX is way better on the centralized exchange, right? So I was just surprised to see there's that many people moving that much money. But yeah, super cool. Great to see.
Yeah. I was
want
surprised
decentralization.
DEX is just such a great acronym, whereas CEX just does not work here at all. I've made that mistake many times saying it out loud, just reading it. I'm like, oh yeah, DEX surpasses CEXs. Oh God, that's not it.
Still a great acronym. I don't know. I'm not against it. What do we got next? Okay, speaking of exchanges, a decentralized exchange, or a DEX, as Jay would like to call it. Meyer, I think is how you pronounce it. I actually don't know if that's the right word, but it's the largest exchange on Elrond. If anyone's heard of Elrond, it's like another L1, layer 1 blockchain. And it's like supposed to be sort of new age technology, really fast, great UX is sort of their big thing. They had an exploit in their DEX where the attacker got $113 million worth of Elrond, or eGold is the EGLD is the ticker. And I think the token price, I don't know what it's at now, but it went from like $75 down to $5 really fast. So just, this is what happens, eh? Our industry is just plummeting from one layer 1 or one DEX or whatever to another. It just keeps going and just getting crushed. So we have a lot of security issues in this space, and hopefully we can fix them, because that sucks.
Yeah, I think be wary and be careful, but this is I mean, we're unfortunately in a time when we're ripe for scammers, ripe for hackers.
And if you guys remember Raul, who I was talking about at the beginning of this episode, our new guy on the team, our man, his biggest bag was in Elrond. So again, go get some followers on Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter and help him out. He needs it right now. All right, let's lift the man up. Be the great community Web3 Academy. Let's go and help out Raul. Get him some stats. speaking of more hacks and more security issues, Optimism, which I've been talking about, well, we have been talking about for the last couple months, who just did their big airdrop. Everything went so seamless. It was so great. It was this big thing. And then nothing to do with the tech, just basically, I don't want to say stupidity, because the people that are working on Optimism are extremely smart, but fat fingered, whatever it was. But basically what happened is Optimism, when they did the airdrop, they needed liquidity. And so they worked with Wintermute, which is a very reputable organization. And basically they needed to send Wintermute 20 million OP tokens, so the Optimism token. And they basically did a couple tests to send this out. And this was for liquidity, so that when you get it, you were able to like buy or sell and whatever. And they were kind of like market makers. And so they did a couple tests and it worked to send them the tokens. And then they sent the 20 million. And I don't exactly understand what happened here, but basically they sent it to the Ethereum L1, where as like the OP token is it's on the layer 2. So the only way to go from layer 1 to layer 2 is using like a bridge, like hot protocol, etc. And they just sent it to the wrong address. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. But basically what happened is the tokens were kind of just out there, and someone scooped in and basically like connected the layer 2 to the L1 kind of thing, and was able to take those tokens before Wintermute was able to set it up and like, I don't know, integrate their wallet or whatever the right way. I don't exactly get it. So I'm sorry, I can't really help there. There is like an explanation in this thread. It still doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. It seems a little off and a little weird. But I don't know, everything I've ever seen from Optimism, they're just such a good community, such a good team. They're very open, and they're the ones that wrote the thread about this. So anyway, hard to say what's happening. There's a lot of debate in the comments of, was this insider or what? Anyway, 20 million OP tokens have been stolen. And then last night, randomly, I saw a tweet that the exploiter sent 1 million OP tokens to Vitalik Buterin on Optimism. So I don't know what Vitalik's going to do with this. Hopefully he just sends it back. We'll see. But we're still missing 19 million. So we'll see what happens there. Super unfortunate. Again, so tough. This industry is tough. Self-custody is tough. Yeah, not a tech issue, but just sent it to the wrong address, I guess. I don't know. Crazy.
I mean, it's a UX issue, really, right? It's
definitely,
because it's not even the wrong address. It doesn't sound like wrong address. Sounds like fat finger to me, like you just typed in literally the wrong, string of characters. But this sounds more like, I guess, UX issue of, clearly on somebody for not understanding how this works. But I don't even understand how bridging works half the time. Like it's confusing. So,
but these are the guys that built it.
I was going to say, these guys should definitely understand it, though. There's no excuse for them.
Yeah. So tough.
But
tough day.
sending 1 million to Vitalik. What's going on here?
There's been a history of this stuff of like when exploiters or hackers take things, they like send it back or they send it to certain people. It's very common in this industry for some reason, especially with Vitalik. This happens a lot. So yeah, we'll see if they keep it, because what are they going to do with, I don't know, it's like $20 million worth of OP, right? It's actually more when they took this, like it's all public blockchain. So we can verify and see everything they're doing. So what are they going to do with that? Right. So a lot of times they end up giving it back and accepting like a
bounty or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll keep you guys posted though. But yeah. Speaking of hacks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, another one. These guys are just, I've never seen a community or a group that got hacked more than Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's insane. So the Discord server for Bored Ape Yacht Club was exploited. The team caught and addressed it quickly, I guess, but about 200 ETH worth of NFTs appear to have been impacted. So some of the, Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs were stolen. I don't really know what it means to like exploit a server. I think maybe just someone came into like a phishing attack or something.
Yeah, I've been in a few servers where it's happened. And I think that essentially the issue is people get into these servers and there's instant trust sort of given within the server, right? So you feel like, any link that's posted in this server must be safe, right? And so what these hacks will do is they'll get into the server, they'll take on a mod role or some sort of role, and then they'll post an announcement or post something like official in the Discord with a phishing link, and and steal, right? I think this is a big reason. It's a good point if you are in Discord servers, and I'm sure everybody listening to this is, be careful, right? Like check your links. Don't I don't want to say don't click on any links in the Discord, but just like be mindful, right? It's typically if something looks too good to be true, it actually is. And I mean, the other thing about obviously is, and I hope everybody knows this about Discord, is do not click on any link that comes from anybody that's direct messaging you, right? We should at some point do a little bit of a lesson probably on like security in Discord and how best to set up your Discord, because anybody who's direct messaging you and is saying that they, got you access to some mint list or whatever, that is definitely phishing and definitely a scam.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, be careful out there. Don't be greedy. That's usually what it is,
exactly.
Right? It's like, you're like, oh, this is my opportunity. Like, just don't be greedy, because if it's too good, it's probably going to be too good to be true. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Yacht Club does it again. Okay, on to some job stuff. So Jay and I talked a lot last week that, Web3 is all good. Even with, we're kind of going into a recession here and markets are down, but traditional Web2 companies are laying off, and we were like, Web3 crypto companies are not. We're well funded. I just want to clarify what I meant on this. So over the last couple of weeks, we've seen like Coinbase has stopped hiring. Gemini, I think, has, if you scroll down, I'll actually show some numbers. I think
Gemini laid off, I think 10%.
Yeah, 10%. And there's a few other exchanges. What I want to clarify is the industry, Web3 industry, is well funded. So new startup projects that are building protocols and like things inside Web3. The traditional companies like the exchanges, those are not Web3. That's just a normal company like Amazon or Apple or whatever, right? They have big offices and tons of overhead and tons of employees and blah, 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 right? Like Coinbase is a publicly traded company. So when markets go down and access to capital is more difficult, especially public capital, like they struggle, right? What I'm talking about is like Web3, there's so many jobs I'm seeing all the time of actual like protocols and projects and things like that got tons of funding and still are getting tons of funding right now. But these are the newer projects, the startups, the things that are innovating, not the big like corporate companies. So big difference there. Just wanted to make sure we explain that. There's still lots of opportunities if you are looking for a job in Web3. I mean, on our job board, we have jobs of like marketers, growth marketers, copywriters, there's designers, there's developers, there's, I don't know, tons of stuff. So
social media managers, community managers. Yeah, there's no shortage of jobs still available. I think that this is part of being in a recession, to utter the R word, right? There's going to be layoffs. And as Kyle said, the layoffs are going to be at the big companies. The other thing to know too is we're in a growing space. So yeah, we're all going to make it, but definitely not every company is going to make it. I think we'll all make it as individuals because we all will support each other and help each other out. But there's going to be a lot of companies that fail and a lot of startups that fail, but that's not a bad thing. That's how we learn and try. So, if you're getting into the space of Web3, I mean, shit, if you're getting into any new industry, if you got into cannabis 2 years ago in North America, when cannabis went legal, it went boom, and then it fell off a cliff and tons of people got laid off. I know so many of my friends got laid off. So that's just part of the flow of an industry, but I don't think it should turn anybody off of the opportunity, because the opportunity will play out in the long run, right? Like even if you join a company and you got laid off, you would still be, in my mind, in a better position because you would have learned and gained experience from jumping into Web3, and you're building your resume, which is going to launch you into the next experience. Not to say I don't have empathy for anybody that's, been laid off by any of these companies. I understand it's a difficult situation. I just think that the long term is still very bullish.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount that they're laying off is much lower than what's happening in outside of crypto companies.
Yeah.
But also there's so many opportunities in Web3. Go get go to a startup. If you have experience at like Gemini or any of these companies, like go get one somewhere in Web3 that's going to be way more opportunity, way more growth anyway. I was actually just talking to a buddy of mine yesterday who is head of marketing at a self-custody wallet. I won't say the name, but basically I was asking him what's going on. Are they laying people off? How are they feeling? And he's like, they're a self-custody wallet, but they also make money through their exchange. That's how they make through volume of exchanges. And so obviously volume has gone down a lot. So their revenues are down, but he's like, no, we're all good. We're just limiting our marketing spend, but we are not laying anyone off. And instead of hiring more marketers, we're actually hiring more developers because we're in build mode right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, sweet. He's like, yeah, like every company is in build mode. So devs, which I've seen, we just launched our Web3 Academy collective, where basically it's a collective of talent. We're kind of accumulating a bunch of people from the community. So listeners, if you are looking for a job, looking for work in this space, or just want to see what's out there, you can basically join this collective. You make it a profile. You say like, you know, I'm a dev, or I'm a social media marketer, I'm this. You give a breakdown of your experience. We take this group, and we're probably going to do it, I think, next week at some point, but we do a drop, and that drop goes out to a bunch of different companies where they can then come in. You don't even have to apply to any companies. They will come and they'll search through our collective, and they'll reach out to you and start messaging you. And so you have companies like reaching out. And so I've seen a bunch of devs in our collective already, which is super cool. Product managers, a bunch of different things. So if you are looking for a job, then please make sure you go to the show notes, and you'll see that there is a link where you can apply to join this collective. All I ask is that you make sure you fill out that profile like with detail. Like if you just put like a couple words, one, we're probably not going to accept you because we don't want to push you off to companies because that's our reputation, but also companies aren't going to want to talk to you. Have some fun with your profile, create something good, give some details, sell yourself, because we're going to get eyeballs on you. You just got to sell yourself. So we will help all of you get jobs in Web3, even during a recession, because this industry is freaking awesome. And so is Web3 Academy.
Yeah.
All right, Pooly. This is a great story. I just want to talk about it real quick because I think there's a few interesting things that are happening here. So click on what is this so we can tell the story a little bit. So Pool Together is a long time. It's like a way to gamify savings, right? So it's a blockchain-based app where you can gamify savings. So it's a great protocol. There is like basically zero risk in this protocol, right? You just save. It's the way to like accumulate and save your money. And so it's helped a lot of people save money, and it's been around for a long time. Anyway, someone earlier this year or last year, maybe I forget when it was, but they are a friend or former colleague, I think, of Elizabeth Warren, which is the a politician who just absolutely hates crypto. She's big into the banks. I think she's like funded by the banks and whatever. So she just hates crypto, and she's just doesn't understand it. And she's just lost in this world. Anyway, her former tech lead used this Pool Together, put $12 into it, into Pool Together.
$12.
And then I don't know what happened, but like basically I think they lost, I think it was they had to pay gas fees. So they lost like however much on the gas fees. It's like $5 or something like that. And so they are suing Pool Together for losing the $5 on their $12 investment. It's not even an investment really, but just a complete joke. And the idea is, and what people have kind of thought is that they're doing this to attack DeFi. So this isn't just against Pool Together. It's a bigger deal here. And they're really trying to just like go after and poke weak points at the space altogether. And so what's happened is an NFT project came up to help fund their like lawyer fees and to fight this like through the lawsuit. And so there's an NFT collection called Pooly. And if you want to scroll back up to the top, Jay, they had a goal of fundraising, what was it? 769 ETH, which is like 1.3 million. And in the last couple of weeks, they have already raised 878 ETH, which is super cool. So $1.57 million worth. So they've already surpassed it. I believe you can still mint. It's like depends which ones you mint, but there are still some that you can still mint.
13 days left.
Okay, so there's one for 0.1 ETH, one for 1 ETH. And if you're a big dog, there's one for 75 ETH, which actually A16Z minted, which is super cool. And this is all to support DeFi. And so you'll see a lot of people in the space have minted these. They put their like profile pictures on Twitter as this to kind of just raise awareness. And yeah, just super, super cool. I love to see it.
You could just imagine being I can't remember who the founders of Pooley are, but being a startup founder, probably young guys or girls, and you wake up one day and you realize that this massive lawsuit is coming against you for what is like a great initiative that you're doing, and you have to figure out how to get $1.5 million in legal fees in order to defend yourself. Like, that's terrifying, and what a difficult situation to be in. But wow, like, this just shows the power of Web3 and the support that we have for each other, and how much everybody is like, this is WAGME to the most, right? This is everybody coming together and saying, yeah, okay, we're going to help you out. We're going to support you on this. And also, I mean, in the end, probably incredible marketing. Pulled together had probably not been on the map, and now everybody knows them.
I just love that. As you said, they needed $1 million, and they're like, okay, how am I going to get this? And their first thought was, well, let's just get some magical internet money and see if we can NFTs. Get it that way. And it works. Go to the next one, because here's the cool thing about NFTs and why I actually wanted to highlight this, other than because I think it's a great cause. But what's really sweet about NFTs is you have a bunch of people that care about the space. Like, anyone who's minted one of these NFTs, is someone who's like supports DeFi, whether they're a founder in DeFi or a big user of DeFi. Like, that's, if you're in DeFi, that is an audience, or Web3, that is an audience that you want in your business, right? Or in your community. And so here's what you can do. You can verify those people that are in that audience publicly, right? And then you can go and drop them something or give them something. And so Lens Protocol, we've talked about Lens Protocol a lot. If you haven't yet, we just did a podcast with Bradley from Lens Protocol. It's freaking awesome. He's the he's growth manager at Lens, ex TikTok, and he was the one that helped TikTok launch NFTs. So go listen to that. Super cool episode. But Lens Protocol, the social graph, the underlying tech for Web3 social, they were all pumped up. And so what they did is they allowed all of the holders of Pooley NFT after a certain amount of time to go and be on the whitelist for to claim their Lens handle. So now it's just a great tool for Lens to onboard people that are committed to the industry into their social network, right? And they can do it permissionlessly. They didn't have to ask. That Pull Together, of course, would not say no to this. Why would they? But they don't have to ask. They can just pull the list of all the holders right from the blockchain, and they can go whitelist all of those addresses, and boom, just tweet it out. And now anyone who's a Pooley NFT holder that sees that tweet can just go, and now they can claim their own handle ahead of the public launch. So just really cool utility, I think, of NFTs there.
Yeah, super powerful. And speaking of Lens Protocol and getting whitelisted, if any of our listeners want to get your Lens Protocol handle before they launch, you are able to, if you're in the Web3 Academy community. This coming Monday, we are having a community call. Every Monday, we have a community call where we just basically get together, hang out, and discuss topics and share and learn together. And this coming Monday, our community call is focused on Lens Protocol. As Kyle said, we did the podcast with them last week. So we're looking for our community to listen to that podcast and then come in and learn about Web3 Social and discuss it together. And for all those that attend, you will be given whitelist to mint your handle on Lens Protocol. Make sure you get your actual name. You won't need to get J Hamilton 6734 on Twitter. You'll actually get your name.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. We're gonna actually share screen and walk you through some of the apps that are built on top of Lens Protocol. Show you what's already happening in there. There's already people that are, I don't know what you call them, not tweeting, not posting, I guess posting, I don't know what minting, because it's an NFT, all of your
It is
posts. Are we
minting, yeah.
minting? Is that what we call it?
No,
We'll have to
that's
ask
not the right
Bradley
word, though.
and
Yeah.
see what we're calling that. But yeah, you can get whitelisted. You can get your handle before everyone else does. All you gotta do is show up Monday, 7 p.m. EST. That's June 13th. If you're listening to this later, sorry, you've missed it. But Monday, 7 p.m. EST in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, there's a link below, and you can join the Discord. Also, Web3 Academy is on Lens. So if you are already on Lens and you're listening to this, check us out. Follow us, web3academy.lens, and we'll see you over on Lens, the new social app.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard about Lens or you're wondering what it is, join on Monday, and you'll get a chance to learn all about it then too.
Sir, let's talk more about NFTs.
Let's talk more about NFTs.
There's a lot going on in the NFT space. A lot of like celebrities and big brands and things just still coming in, even though we're in this like bear market. Even like, prices of NFTs have gone down, volume of NFTs have gone down in terms of trading and that. But like, there's still just big time. What's interesting actually is if you look at like last year in 2020, there was like big companies that were buying ETH, buying Bitcoin, putting on their balance sheet, all that. Since the bear market, zero of that has happened, at least publicly. But what hasn't stopped is the big brands and big companies getting into NFTs. So that's really cool, right? That's kind of an interesting change of things in this industry. But what we have up here is Snoop Dogg, who is a Bored Ape Yacht Club holder. Hopefully wasn't one of the ones that got his stolen in the Discord hack. Then we got another Seth Rogen, Seth Green.
Yeah. Might have an IP issue.
Yeah. He's launching an NFT themed dessert restaurant that is Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT themed. Weird, cool. I don't know. We'll see.
The name Dr. Bombay's Sweet Exploration. Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's just it's powerful brands, right? That's really what NFTs are. They're just this intersection of brands and community, right? And art, and that's something that an influencer like Snoop Dogg can use as an absolute launch pad. And I love desserts. Who wouldn't want to go to a dessert restaurant? I'm in.
And shout out to Jay Esch from our Web3 Academy community in the Discord, and Jeremy from the Web3 Academy team for always putting in Snoop Dogg GIFs, whatever it's called, in the Discord. I freaking love them. I think they're hilarious. Snoop Dogg, any Snoop Dogg GIF is good to me, and they're always in there. So shout out to you guys. Looney Tunes. I loved Looney Tunes when I was a kid, but Looney Tunes will be the next Warner Bros. IP to get NFT treatment. So Tweety, if you remember Tweety, will be the first Looney Tune character to hit the blockchain as a PFP avatar, with others to follow. So yeah, we got some cool Tweety NFTs coming out, and we'll see like where that goes or what they're going to do with that. But for now, they're starting with a PFP project where you'll get some IP around the Looney Tunes. Freaking love Looney Tunes. Space Jam was my favorite movie when I was a kid. Still is.
It's amazing. Still, yeah. The new one, awesome. The WWE is entering the ring with its new NFT collection.
Nice.
Were you a WWE fan?
A little bit, yeah. I had like a little wrestling ring with the little characters.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in them. Yeah. I don't obviously like it now, but one of my good friends is actually the talk show person for it with Sports Center.
No way.
Whatever. Yeah. So I was like, anyway, yeah, I used to be a big fan.
Well, it's another example of a major entertainment company entering the NFT space, and really just seeing all the actions going in that direction and wanting to get involved.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have 10,000 limited edition NFTs, and be a bunch of different superstars in WWE. I don't know. I mean, all these brands do this, but like, I just wonder, like, what does this mean? I assume they're going to find some way to like build something around this. But I don't know. I don't get it yet. Like with the Looney Tunes and this, it's like, if they build something around it and these like holding these NFTs mean something, whether that's access or whatever they want to do, like that's cool. Otherwise, to me, it's just like they wanted to, cash in and make a bit of money. But
I think for a lot of them, it's experimentation, right? So get in and start to experiment. I think about Adidas, right? What did Adidas do? They launched a PO app, and then they airdropped an NFT to everybody who attended that event that got that PO app. And then just a week or two ago, then you had the phase 1 of their PO app, and then you got to go through a claim process where if you had that NFT phase 1, you would get physical merchandise mailed to you, and then you would burn your phase 1 and go to a phase 2, and then you actually got airdropped another NFT about a week ago. So, I think there's just, like you said before, there's a lot you can do with rewarding and incentivizing and access for your community. You just got to know who they are first, and the only way to know who they are first is to get them on chain and to give them something, right?
That's a great point. Go start somewhere.
That's right.
We talked about Kanye West, getting in with the NFT trademarks. Real quick here, there's a bunch of celebrities that have been doing this just in the last few days. So there's Billie Eilish. I think I said that right. Eilish. Yeah. David Beckham, Notorious B.I.G. What, did he come back from the dead to mint an NFT? Notorious B.I.G. LLC.
Yeah.
But so that'd be cool. I love Biggie. So whatever. Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is a trademark for NFTs. And then the most recent one, if you go to the next here, is Anthony Hopkins. First of all, changed his Twitter name to ahopkins.eth. So that's badass. But he tweeted out and says, "I'm astonished by all the great NFT artists jumping in to acquire my first piece. Any recommendations?" And he tagged Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Fallon, and Reese Witherspoon. So Anthony Hopkins getting in on the NFT world.
So Kai, I'm curious, this tweet here, what would you tell Anthony Hopkins to buy if you were to recommend an NFT?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not enough in the NFT space to recommend anything. I would tell him to get a Pulley actually, and help out DeFi. But I don't know that Anthony Hopkins cares about DeFi. So yeah, I have no idea. What about you?
I guess
I
think the question is, what's his objective? Is he trying to make money? For a lot of people in the NFT space right now, it's all about speculation,
right?
Or is he trying to join a community, right?
I'm going to assume Anthony Hopkins doesn't care about money.
I don't think he cares about the money either. No, I don't think he cares about the money. So yeah, I would say it depends, but I think that where my mind goes to is the blue chip NFT projects, right? As we've said many times, large majority of NFT projects are going to go to zero, because it's very difficult to create a sustainable business. It's one thing to launch a 10,000 PFP collection. It's another to create a business that is sustainable and has revenue and builds and grows and has branding and marketing and a team. And so, yeah, I'd go towards the blue chips. I'd go to, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Moonbirds, Doodles. That's probably where my mind would go to.
Or I'd send him to some, what I really like lately is, we talked to think a bit about this last week, is these free mints. This is one good thing that's came out of this bear market in the NFT space is like people couldn't really do like mints. They were starting to get so high back when like things were still like crazy back in like November. Yeah. And now I'm seeing a lot of projects that are free mints. And I love that because it literally allows anyone to get in. And it means you really need to create strong community or some sort of utility to that for it to go up. So I love that. I think free mints is the thing. And I hope that that's a trend that continues. I'm all for free mints. And I hope Anthony Hopkins, if you're ever listening, if you're listening to Web3 Academy, first of all, tweet at me or something and let me know.
What up?
Hey, man. But if you are, go get some free mints, bro. And then tweet that shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And then make them pump. The free mint, no Discord, no roadmap. That's the new hot trend in NFTs, which there's a whole other side to the danger of that, zero accountability. But I agree. Free mints is a great trend right now. Okay, switching from NFTs, let's run through who are some new launches in Web3. Lots of companies launching, lots of brands getting into the space. First up here, we have Salesforce. Salesforce, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, CRM company in the world, customer relationship management company. They have launched what they're calling NFT Cloud. And what they say is that you can mint and sell NFTs on a trusted, sustainable platform. Now, they're just in the early phases of this, so there isn't a lot of use cases about this. But I think, to me, what is very exciting about this and interesting about this is that you have one of the largest CRM companies. And what is CRM all about? It's all about data about your customers, right? And
what trusted sustainable platform is this? Like a Salesforce blockchain, or where did they?
That's what I was going to say. I knew you might ask that question. No, I think I saw that they said they wouldn't use proof of work blockchains because of the environmental impact, and they listed about 5 blockchains: Polygon.
Oh, this is the tweet here: Avalanche, Palm, Solana, Polygon,
Yeah.
Flow.
There you go.
I don't know that I would call any of those sustainable. I mean, if you listen to our podcast 2 weeks ago,
Right,
about sustainable blockchains, none of those 5 are sustainable blockchains. So bearish Salesforce NFT platform at the moment. I don't know anything about it, but like, how they call this a trusted sustainable platform? Solana because literally goes down every month. How can they say it's a trusted sustainable platform? I don't understand. Nothing against Solana.
A marketer wrote this.
Right,
there's no regulation on marketing and advertising. But yeah, I think what's really exciting about this is the idea of like a blockchain CRM is very interesting to me, because when you think about the data that you could collect on your customers by having them on the blockchain, and how you could build deeper relationships for Salesforce, that has huge potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Salesforce getting, again, big tech entering the space is a great thing. So we'll see what they do with that. This one is big. This happened last night, actually, is when I saw this. But Immutable X here is announcing Get Protocol is launching their global NFT ticketing secondary marketplace on Immutable X. And so basically, NFT ticketers worldwide can mint and trade gas free. They will also have a fiat on-ramp that will be made available for onboarding. And so with Get Protocol, you'll be able to sell events to concerts and whatever else via NFT. And this is going to be such a massive space. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. And of course, happening on Immutable, I'm telling you right now, Immutable X is just the best protocol, best platform in crypto right now. It's the Robbie Ferguson, who's the founder of this, is like probably one of the smartest people in this space. One day I will get him on this podcast. I have to. He's just insanely smart, and he gets it. And it's free to use Immutable X. So like all of this is just gonna be completely free. The UX is so much better. We're about to talk about Immutable X and a few other things as we get through the show. So let's fly through here, because I think we got a lot of stuff, but really cool to see that when that comes through.
Next up, we talked about GameFi quite a bit, and Epic Games, which is one of the largest online gaming stores, playing games on your PC. They've announced their first NFT game is a Wild West shooter game called Grit. And this is coming out later this year. And really, I mean, I think GameFi, as we've said again and again, it's just absolutely going to explode. It hasn't blown up yet because the games aren't that good and they're not that fun. We're waiting for AAA level games to come out. But how fun will it be when you can play a game and you get an NFT as opposed to just a token or an item in the game, right? The power of that, the ownership of that, the ability to sell that. I think we're going to see. I still think we're probably, 6 to 12 months away from most of these games coming out. And the reason this is so slow is because these games take years to develop. You can develop and launch a 10,000 PFP collection in a couple of weeks. Very different to build a game, right? So yeah, exciting.
Big things in the gaming. Okay, so next up we have another airdrop coming. It's actually coming today. June 9th is today. And this is hot protocol. I've talked about this before. Optimism was the first like layer 2 to airdrop. And now we have HOP. So we have OP token. Now we have HOP token. HOP protocol though is a bridge on layer 2s. It basically allows you to move tokens from Optimism to Arbitrum to Polygon, whatever. It's great. I've been using it since it launched. So I'm excited to also claim my HOP tokens here. It's been a great couple of weeks for airdrops. But we'll see how they do it. I think it's nice to highlight these, not just because people make money, but because a lot of these, really good protocols like HOP and like what Optimism did, they get very creative in how they're going to do their governance, right? Mm-hmm. They're launching these tokens because they want to decentralize their protocol. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be run by one team. So that's the purpose that Optimism did. It's also the purpose here that HOP is doing it. We'll see how they do it. Again, it hasn't come out yet, but it will at some point today. Maybe it is as we're recording this. But yeah, we'll be interested to see. And if you have used HOP protocol, you'll be able to claim some tokens. Cool.
Awesome.
Jay, you're going to your first conference. What is it?
I am.
Tell me about it.
My first crypto Web3 conference. Not my first conference ever. Back in the day, I went to super boring corporate consulting conferences when I used to wear a suit and tie to work every day. I'm going to NFT NYC. Yeah, ew. I'm going to NFT NYC, and I am super pumped about this. If you are going to be there, shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, message me in Discord. Would love to meet up with any of our listeners. Would love to hear from you. And yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible event. I'm going to be at the Moonbirds event. I'm going to be meeting up with the Jump team and a bunch of people from Jump DAO. I'm going to be meeting up with the 333 Club from Zen Academy, and then I'll be hanging out at all the various events and yeah, just soaking in the energy and the knowledge. I'm sure that will be coming. My gosh, I'm so pumped.
I'm super jealous, man. I wish. I'm actually going to be in Miami until the 20th, and I was like, shit, I should just hop over to New York and see Jay.
Just do it, man. Do it.
I got to go home. I haven't been to Canada this year in 2022. And my mom needs me. She needs to see me. So I gotta go see Sue.
Sue, what's up, Sue? Shout out.
I'm coming home, mama. Love it. What else is going on? There's something else in New York City going on.
So at the same time as NFT NYC is also Ape Fest. Ape Fest is Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club. It is their annual conference. It's not really a conference. It's more of a festival in terms of like the style. It's more like party and concerts and art and that sort of thing. But it's interesting that basically Ape Fest decided to do their thing at the exact same time as NFT NYC, and it is every day during NFT NYC. I am not an ape holder, so I don't think I will be attending, but it looks like they're building a powerful community. There's no doubt about that. And this comes back to, how do you create utility for your community? You give them access and you make, incredible opportunities for them to participate in things. Right. And I think that obviously IRL is not going away anytime soon. We talk so much about URL and how we can build there, but people still, gain and benefit so much from in real life events. And yeah, it looks like they're doing some pretty cool stuff.
Jay, I have a question. What does URL stand for?
I have no idea. What does it stand for?
Because V said this in our podcast that we just recorded, is IRL, in real life. What's URL?
Under real life?
I don't know. Go on to the next one. I'm going to Google it while you do this. But I did hear this term and I was like, does that mean like digital life? But I don't know what the U part stands for. Anyway, what's next?
What's next is the ones and twos. What's coming down on the ones and twos?
Big things. We are merging. If you're not merging right now, I'm dancing. That's because I'm merging. I'm excited. Been waiting for this for a really long time. So yesterday, June 8th, the Ropsten Network which is a test network of Ethereum merge. We
Mhm.
didn't actually merge
Mhm.
Ethereum just yet. We've got 3 test nets that need to be merged first, but
Mhm.
this is the first time we've ever moved a blockchain, like a live one, from proof of work to proof of stake. It happened yesterday, and it happened not perfect, but like basically seamless. Like it worked, everything continued. There was some like minor bugs where just some of the teams had to fix some things, but overall, like it worked pretty smooth. Everything was all good. So that is super exciting. That's a big feat. We got 2 more test nets to go. Basically what happens now is over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks ish, they got to just keep an eye on this test net, make sure nothing like bugs out. So long as everything is good, then they will merge the next test net. And then again, they'll have to wait about 2 to 3 weeks. So long as everything's good there and doesn't bug out, they'll move the final test net. And then again, 2 to 3 weeks or so. And so long as they can do it within August, if that timing works out, if there are bugs, they might have to delay that 2 to 3 weeks. Then they will merge Ethereum mainnet in August. If there's some delays and some bugs they have to fix, that it means that the merge would happen near the end of August. They'll probably have to delay it into September, maybe early October, because there's a difficulty bomb that they put into the network where basically it's kind of interesting that they do this. So devs build in this thing where they have to upgrade the protocol by a certain amount of time. And if they don't do it, the protocol basically just like kills itself essentially. So it's called a difficulty bomb, where like the block space just gets, I think it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, it might be smaller. I'm not sure which one it is, but basically the system will just like no longer work eventually. And it just like slowly and then suddenly gets worse and worse and worse. So like the difficulty bomb starts sometime in July, but they can still continue. Just the system starts to get worse as they go. By about the end of August, it's like, okay, now the system's completely fucked. And they either have to like pivot and they have to like fork it so that they delay that bomb, or if the goal, really what they want is to try to merge it before then. So this kind of just puts like the pressure on the devs, I guess, and they do this all the time. It's kind of funny, but so we'll see what happens, but it's coming. Merge is happening.
Difficulty bomb is just a funny term. I've never heard that before. It's a
Yeah.
great branding of by the devs there.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want to learn more about the merge and what its impact is going to be on Ethereum, and listen to our podcast from a couple weeks ago with Sam Andrew, a blockchain researcher who really breaks this down in a very understandable way. Absolutely.
Talking all about tokenomics and things there. So let's talk layer 2 here. If we remember month ago, 2 months ago, was it Otherdeed? Is that what they call it? Otherdeed launched their land in the metaverse, and they did it on Ethereum L1, and it cost, do you remember, like hundreds of millions in gas or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah,
what was it?
It was over $100 million in gas. I think it was 130 is the number in my head.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And that's like, that was all the users, the people trying to get the land, is that's what they were spending it on. So Illuvium, which is a AAA game that's being built on Immutable X, of course. And this is like a big game. It's like highly renowned. People are super excited about this. They did their first land sale. They sold $72 million in total sales. And basically there was zero gas wars. I think that there was like tiny bit of gas that you had to pay to get this, but it was like sub $20. And so they had a comparison chart. I don't know where it went, so we can't show it right now, but basically gas did not matter. There was none of this, failed transactions and like these wars and stuff. It was just smooth and seamless and just like a great experience for all the users, is what I'm told. I did not buy any of this land. So that's just what I've seen from Immutable and from others that were in this. They also did a really cool thing where with this land, some of the ETH that's earned from it is like redistributed back to the community, which I think is really cool. So it created some utility in this land. And then they also, from it, there was some sort of formula where they're burning some of this like SILV2 token, which I don't know, it's a token within the game. So the results of this land actually ended up improving the tokenomics of the in-game tokens. And also distributed some of the ETH that was earned to the owners and players within the game, or the NFT holders and things. So really cool way that they did this. It just happened like a couple of days ago. So there'll be more articles and things out, and I'm sure about like the full breakdowns. But just shows the comparison. Like stop minting these things on ETH layer 1, get over to layer 2s because it works and it is ready, and it is ready for big time. Like 72 million is huge.
Yeah, huge. And you still get the safety and security of Ethereum on a layer 2. So yeah, really a no-brainer. We don't have enough time right now to get into this, but the other topic that comes up for me is the discussion around, should metaverses be selling land? Is that a good strategy for the long term? Does that create a sustainable metaverse? Is that good for the buyers who really have large expectations when you're investing in land in these metaverses? I think that we should have a separate conversation. Maybe we should do it in our Discord, or maybe we do another podcast on it, Kai. But there's a lot of
Let's hear your opinion. We got some time.
opinions on
My next meeting after this podcast is with you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to show up late to our meeting. And let's chat.
No,
about
I mind,
metaverse
man. I mind.
What are your thoughts? I'm interested.
Yeah, well,
and we can keep it short for now, and we will do another episode.
Well, let's keep it short. But if you are, here's the sort of the quick and dirty of this. If you are selling land in a metaverse, then you are creating an expectation with the buyers that they are buying a land-like asset. And what is a land-like asset? Well, a land-like asset is obviously buying land in the real world. When you buy land in the real world, there's three main factors or pillars of land in the real world. One is scarcity, which obviously there's nothing we can do about that. The other is location. Location really matters when you're buying land. And the other is access. Land is a very unique asset because if you own land, you control access to that land, which is why people will pay you rent to live in your land. People will pay to use your land to build something. There's even public land. You can't just go sleep in a park. The police don't want you to do that, right? So there's a real control around access around land. So there's obviously, when you think about those three factors, there is possible problems within the metaverse, because the metaverse, it depends on which metaverse you're talking about. Is it going to build and keep and ensure that the land has those properties for the long run? We'll see. We don't know. But obviously, when it comes to scarcity, that's on the metaverse to not release more land, which they can 100% do at any time. The same way that the government can print more money, which creates dilution and inflation. And if you're a landowner and you spent a whole bunch of money on Illuvium or on the other side, metaverse, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're going to make more land, that's not favorable to you, right?
Which can't be done in the real world. There's actually scarcity to land.
Exactly. So, and I think the other big challenge is around this challenge of access is, so what a lot of these metaverses are trying to do is build a world of user generated content, right? So think about Roblox as an example, where they created a platform where it's very easy for developers to come in and build a game within Roblox. So that's what you would like to create it as a metaverse, is because if you have developers coming in and building in your metaverse, then you're going to have so many great experiences, right? It's one of the big challenges right now of all metaverses, Decentraland, Sandbox. They need more builders, right? Because without builders, there's not cool stuff to do there. And if there's not cool stuff to do, then who's going to hang out there? So here's the problem. If you have landowners, how do landowners fit into the equation with developers? Are you going to say to a developer who wants to build in the metaverse, oh, you need to pay me rent in order to build in this metaverse? So, but offer no real value. I'm just a landowner. So, I'm just basically a slumlord that's like, hey, pay me to develop and build here. Like that won't work, right? Developers aren't going to want to build in that way. So there's this economics friction that's going to happen around what role do the landowners play in the metaverse.
And what's the difference if I build in the alluvium land or if I build in the Decentraland or whatever? Like, how does that really matter? Is it there's better developer tools and it's like easier or more efficient to build the thing you want to build? Let's say it's like a digital store or something.
Yeah.
Like, can I just go and build my own? Because for me, it's not like in the Web2 world where the tech is your moat and you're stuck in there. And so you want to build an Instagram, like you build Instagram because that's where the users are. But in Web3, I can go to Decentraland over to Alluvium land in a second and all my stuff moves with me. So I don't really care what land I'm in. I just care about the game I'm playing or the thing that I'm doing. Doesn't matter to me what land it's in. And I assume, just like how the internet works now, is like, if I want to go to a website in the non-Web3 world, I just type it into the URL and I get there, right? I don't have to walk across the street to go there. I'm pretty sure the same thing's going to happen here with Metaverse. Like if I want to jump from Decentraland Metaverse over to Alluvium, I'm not going to have to like go get on a bus and like transfer myself over there.
And that's the problem of location, right?
Right. I don't think location matters in this stuff.
And if location doesn't matter, then it's not a land-like asset. Right.
Exactly. And I don't even know that it matters that you're in that. Well, this is what I'm unsure of is I don't really understand why it matters to be in a specific branded metaverse. Whereas can't we just all be a metaverse and it's all converged into one? Like that's what I'm unsure of and starting to try to think about and wrap my head around. But yeah, I'm still not uberly bullish on land. The only thing is maybe in the games, like there are certain things you need to use in a game. It's like you need to go to a store to buy your swords or something. Like I kind of understand it in games. I don't understand it in anything else.
I was gonna say like I think it can make sense in role player games, right? But not in user generated content.
Right.
Plays. That's where I see the challenge existing. Because I mean, to answer your question, really, where would a developer build? Yes, there's the ease of tools. And as a developer, you have to commit to learning that tool, right? Like you've got to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to learn Alluvium's platform and how to build there. And maybe it's a particular code you have to learn. And so like that, there's time and effort, and then you're committed. And so that's a big hurdle. But naturally, developers are going to build where the users are, right? Wherever the users are is where they'll build.
Community, if you're in our Discord, there's a Metaverse channel. If you're listening to this, please go in there and share your thoughts. Also share who we should interview on this, because I want to talk about Metaverse stuff with someone. And either we will like dive deep with the community, we'll learn, and then we'll come and we'll film our own, kind of like what we just did here, or we will interview someone or a panel of people. But let us know who. Hit me up on Twitter or just go in Discord in the Metaverse channel. Let's chat on this stuff. Let's stop it there, Jay, and then we'll get an episode that's specifically on Metaverse stuff, because I'm excited to dive deeper into that. Speaking of, I mean, a few things here we've already touched on. So ApeCoin with Ape Fest, and these guys are also getting into gaming. And so this is the DAO that was launched around Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Other Deeds, all this stuff. There's a DAO, and they have the ApeCoin token. They launched an Ethereum L1, and when they did this, and when they launched Other Deeds, which was along the side with Yuga Labs, they basically said, we should build our own blockchain because, too much gas kind of thing, which is a joke. I think like they should not build their own blockchain, but because there's many blockchains that they can go to. And so there have been two proposals to ApeCoin DAO that's going through right now, and they're actually like working on figuring out and starting the vote. But Avalanche, which is a layer 1 blockchain, they proposed that you bridge ApeCoin over to Avalanche, and they create a subnet. I'll explain what that is in just a second. And then Immutable X is the other one that did a proposal. We've talked a lot about what Immutable X is, and they've done a proposal to just bridge their assets from L1 over to L2. What's really cool here is we get to see a community. We always talk about what are the blockchains, what are the best ones. Now we actually get to see a community who's going to move their assets and vote together and debate. And like, we get to see what are the things that matter to these communities, what are the things they're looking at to decide where they want to move their assets to, what real estate they want to use, essentially, right? And so there's hundreds of comments in here on both the Avalanche proposal and the Immutable X. Immutable X, as you guys know, is a layer 2. So it's basically just a roll up or a blockchain, you can call it, which uses the security of Ethereum, right? All kind of same wallets, same everything that's integrated in there. Avalanche, on the other hand, is its own layer 1 blockchain, but they've created subnets, which is almost like a layer 2. The difference here is instead of using the security of Avalanche or the AVAX token, you basically they separate security between subnets. And so the token that you use to pay gas fees on these subnets and Avalanche would be your own token. So ApeCoin would be the token that they use for gas, which could be a good thing in terms of like revenues for the token, right? There's utility for the token. So some people like that. The problem is you're separating security. So now ApeCoin is the thing that has to secure the subnet. And so if ApeCoin doesn't do well, the security is very, very weak. And now every subnet on Avalanche, they all basically have to secure their own stuff. There's some security from the underlying layer 1, but not really. It's a very weird structure. And so the big debate in here between these two proposals is security. This is what they care about. They want to make sure they have security for what they're about to build. They're going to build a metaverse and they're going to do all these things. So I actually went on a couple Twitter spaces to see like what were the questions people from this DAO were asking. The two big things were around security. So how is this going to make sure that they have security of their token, security of the assets that they're going to build on there? And then the other thing they cared about a lot was, which was interesting, was UX. So how is this going to be a good experience for the ApeCoin token holders and the users of the games that they want to play? The other interesting thing that they were talking about was they actually were asking Avalanche and Immutable X, how can you help us with utility for our token? So how can you get us into existing games or get ApeCoin into like games that are being built so that there's utility of the token in other games? And so that was really interesting. And so they basically, Immutable X had a Twitter space where Robbie Ferguson, the founder, he came in and just talked to them about all the games currently building on Immutable X and how he could get partnerships with them and all this kind of stuff. So it was really cool to see. Basically where this is at right now is they're still sort of like learning about the two protocols. The ApeCoin community is fairly educated, but I would say just like most people in the space, not deeply educated on layer 1s and layer 2s. So there's a lot of learning going on right now, which is really cool to see. But there was a proposal that was done just this past week that was passed last night, which was basically a proposal to keep ApeCoin on the Ethereum ecosystem out of security concerns. And that actually passed with a 54% vote. So I don't know if that removes Avalanche. It should.
Doesn't that remove Avalanche?
It should, but we'll see. I don't really know what that proposal actually does. The other thing to note here is like ApeCoin DAO doesn't have like jurisdiction over other deeds. That's actually owned by Yuga Labs.
That's Yuga
right?
Labs, yeah.
So there's also like some figuring out here, like Immutable X was talking, they're already in talks with Yuga Labs about other deeds to bring them over, but then they also need, I mean, the community is ApeCoin DAO, so they want them on board as well, because they're going to be the marketing arm and the like growth tool for it all. So it's interesting. You have this DAO plus this like centralized company. So we'll see where this goes. We'll keep you guys updated, but it's just interesting to see a DAO basically decide their fate between different blockchains. So really.
And what's cool about this is you don't need to be in this DAO to pull up these links and to see these conversations and to read these forums. And it is, as you said, a great way to learn, because I mean, shit, most of us are still figuring out layer 1s and layer 2s and what's best to build on. So yeah, I think this is a great way to learn, is check this out and to see how the power of community in Web3. This is community governance happening online with hundreds, thousands of people who do not know each other, many of whom are anonymous, but they're participating and they're building. And I think that's just so excited for the future of humanity. Like, this is what Web3 is really all about.
Right. Yeah, it's super cool. Okay, last up, we're going to wrap up with just a couple final takes here. Go to the Kobe one. Yeah. So this is hilarious. Just a tweet that came out yesterday. So Kobe is, he's been in crypto for a really long time. Young, like, I think he's English dude. Just sort of like a shit poster on Twitter, but been around for a long time, made a lot of money in this space. And just like, as much as he's funny and a shit poster, he's actually like super smart in this stuff. Anyway, he tweeted out, so let's go to his tweet from 2021. So February 4th, for any of you that were in this space last year, here was his tweet, February 4th, 2021. Dear Diary, the year is 2021. Billionaires are using DeFi and trading NFTs with rappers. Publicly traded companies are hedging inflation by holding Bitcoin. The richest man in the world is pumping shit coins. It is what I always dreamed it could be. So funny reflection on like 2021. If you remember back in February 2021, like it was the craziest time ever. The weirdest shit was happening. Which I mean, in hindsight, it was probably a top signal, but hilarious. And then so he tweets out today or yesterday and goes, Dear Diary, the year is 2022. DeFi is dead, as are our hopes and dreams. They sang a song about the merge during a live stream today. It was just a testnet merge. I question why I'm still participating in this industry. Prices are below what they were during my last diary entry. It's so funny to reflect on the differences between like the middle of a bull market of just like crazy innovation. Like this was the beginning of NFTs and like everyone's getting into this for the first time. And it was like super exciting. And then you have where we are a year later and it's just like, everything's kind of dead. So funny. Well done.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun, you gotta have fun. In the bear markets, that's when we have fun. You gotta laugh, you gotta bring up the spirits. So thanks, Kobe. All right. Last up, it is our DAO of the month. Give me a little bit of a drum roll.
Who dat?
DAO of the month is Noun DAO.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Noun DAO. What is Nouns DAO? What is a noun? I see this all the time on Twitter. I don't really know what it is.
So a noun is it's a generative art project, and every day, indefinitely for the rest of time, one noun is produced through the blockchain. So if you go to nouns.w2f, you can see every day there's a auction happening for I've got it up. It's for noun 335. And these nouns are all going for anywhere from 80 to 150 ETH. The current bid on this noun 335 is 90 ETH. So we're talking $100,000 to $200,000 is being spent on these nouns. Now, these pieces of art, generative art, it's pretty simple pixel art. It's nothing like the art itself is nothing incredible. But why is this so impressive and so interesting is because, I mean, a few things. One is it's Creative Commons 0. And we've talked a bunch about Creative Commons 0 and IP ownership and licensing of NFTs is a big topic. Creative Commons 0 essentially means that you do not own the IP. You are giving up the IP to the public domain. So anybody can produce with public domain. Now you might say, well, why the heck would I spend $150,000 on something that I don't even own the IP of, right? But by giving up ownership of the IP, you are saying to the world, hey, anybody can go and use this branding and produce with it. So what does that do is it opens up an opportunity for growth of your brand. And we've seen examples of this in Nouns DAO. So one guy made a merch drop, and he sold hundreds of hats and hoodies in like literally minutes, just with the Noun DAO glasses. These glasses, you've probably seen them on Twitter. They're becoming quite a big brand. And he's allowed to do that. Nobody's stopping him. And now who benefits from that? Sure, you're not getting royalties, or it's not a licensing deal. But I think that's the big thing about Web3. We're trying to create this composable space where we can all build and create. And obviously, if you're a noun holder, you also benefit from somebody wearing a hat, purchasing a hat. It's growth of the brand, right?
It's like
so
open source branding, open source marketing, open source.
Yeah, exactly.
Business development. Interesting.
Yeah,
I see their treasury is like 24,000 ETH already.
ETH.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so there's another interesting thing about the way that they did Noun DAO is, so typically in an NFT project, the creators or founders take a royalty on NFT sales, right? Now, Noun, they call them Nounders, the founders, they did not take a royalty. Instead, every 10 nouns, they get one in perpetuity. So rather than taking money out of the brand and out of the system, they're leaving their investment in by just taking nouns. So they're also,
if nouns aren't worth anything. If nouns aren't worth anything, then what they're getting every 10 is useless, right?
Is useless, right?
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Which is a very cool system. And the reason I was able to get into nouns DAO, and so let's be clear here, I did not purchase a noun. I don't have 100 ETH to purchase a generative piece of art. They recently announced little nouns, LIL nouns, which is a way for the rest of us, myself, to get involved. Now it's a separate DAO that follows the same structure where all money goes towards the treasury, and owners, if you own a Lil Noun DAO, you can vote on the treasury and you can vote on how that money should be spent. Lil Nouns, on the other hand, are every 15 minutes forever. Forever, indefinitely. So there's many more Lil Nouns. So Lil Nouns are going for like 0.3 to 0.6 ETH, whereas a noun is going for 80 to 100 ETH. So yeah, very powerful example of generative art and Creative Commons Zero building a brand that is really impressive.
What happens if there's not enough demand, where at some point after 15 minutes, there's no one there that wants to mint it? What happens? It just doesn't get minted? Do you know?
That's a good question. I don't know. I keep going back because it's so fun to see these live auctions. And I'm also interested in, can you get one cheap now and then? Every single time there seems to be, there is somebody buying. The cheapest one I saw was the other day. I saw one go for 0.1, which definitely was a steal for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Good question. Maybe there's something built in that, I'm sure there's something built into the smart contract that does something.
Right. Interesting. I like it. It's cool. We'll see where it goes. Yeah. This is the cool thing about NFTs. It's pure innovation right now, pure experimentation. And we'll keep trying to give you ideas of what's out there and what's working, what's not working. And good job, Nouns DAO. DAO of the month. Hell yeah. What do we want to wrap up with? What do we need to say? Is there anything we're supposed to say?
There is something we're supposed to say, but I can't remember right now. Do you remember?
Of course I do. Discord. Don't forget to join our Discord Monday at 7 p.m. EST on June 13th. We are doing a Lens protocol review. We're going to actually pull up the screen, show you how to mint. We are going to show you all the apps in there, what it's all about. And then we are going to put you on the whitelist so you can mint your own Lens protocol handle. And there might be a special guest that shows up. I don't know for sure, but maybe. So you'll have to show up to find out. We'll see you all in the Discord. Thank you, everybody. This was a fun roll up. I love roll ups. Jay, I love you. Web3 Academy, I love you. Let's spread the love, baby.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.